Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a little weekly update here and talk about what I'm expecting from you this week. This week is really an inquiry week where I want you to focus on figuring out how to ask the right questions. There are lots of different questions that we could ask in any given situation, but part of what is important is figuring out what are the right questions to ask, and knowing what the right questions to ask are really involves knowing what you need to get out of the answer. Okay, so in any different context, the answer to that question is going to be different depending on what it is that you need. So let me explain this in the context of our course. So far, you guys have written your personal brand essay, and let's see, by the time you are watching this video, you should have your grades for those essays, and you should have in your student Mitchell email an email that is titled English 111, your partner's personal brand essay. In that email, I will tell you who your partner is, and I will tell you, or I will attach their personal brand essay. So you actively should have that in your emails right now. Please go to your Mitchell student account, find that email. If you can't find it, please let me know. I'm happy to resend it, not a problem at all. But the earlier that you check and read that personal brand essay, the more time you'll have to ask the right questions this week. So make sure that you do that. Now, once you have read your partner's personal brand essay, I want you to think about just the overall impression that you got from them. Who are they? What does it seem that's important to them? How do they describe themselves? How would you start to characterize them? I want you to take the same concepts and questions that we asked when we did our brand analysis last week, and I want you to kind of figure out what you might say about your partner. So in this instance, I guess what I mean is think about the adjectives paragraph from the brand analysis. If you had to pick one or two adjectives just from the impression that you got from the personal brand essay that you're reading now, what adjectives would you pick to describe this person? Family-oriented, maybe, is an adjective, or soft, or calm, or excited, or aggressive, or, something. And, as you guys are describing or writing digital media for your partner, and thinking about questions, please be considerate. These are people who've shared who they are on paper, and so, make sure that you're being respectful in the questions that you ask. Okay, so I feel like I'm getting off track though. You've read this, you've thought about who they are. Try to read your partner's personal brand essay at least 2 times to really understand, what they've said, and also for you to understand what questions you still have about them. All with the understanding that in the coming weeks, I'm going to ask you to use a really user-friendly digital media design program. It's not even really a program, it's just a website called Canva, if anyone wants to preview it. C-A-N-V-A, Canva. I am going to ask you to take everything you've read and learned about your partner and design 3 pieces of digital media. So that could be like a logo, or imagine they had to represent themselves in an image. What would it be? You will have, I am not introducing that yet, but I want you to know that that's where we're going with this. So when you do your assignment for this week, which is to follow up by asking your partner 10 questions, I want you to be thinking about questions that can really help you best design a logo or other digital media for them. These might be questions that help you better understand who they are at their core level, and they might be questions that just give you some things to put into excuse me, to put into that logo or into the design, just, element-wise, like color schemes or fonts, or, are they bold person? Would they want bold font? Do they seem like more of a gentle spirit and they would want like a scripty font or something like that? It's fine to ask questions also that help you best understand how to digitally characterize them visually. So, okay, so with all of that being said, your goal this week is to read your partner's personal brand essay and ask 10 questions. Then, when you've got those 10 questions, I want you to come into week 6, go to the open forum that says 10 follow-up interview questions. Now, you guys, I have created groups where you and your partner are the only 2 people in a group, and if this is working correctly, you should only be able to see a forum for you and your partner. Now, because I'm not a student and I'm not in any of the groups, I'm not exactly sure what this is going to look like. So please, if you log into Blackboard and you go to the open forum labeled 10 follow-up interview questions, and you can't post anything, or you can't see anything, or it doesn't seem to be working the way that it's supposed to, please email me right away, because I would want to correct that and resolve the issue so that you guys can work effectively. Worst case scenario, I'll find an alternative method, but this allows both of you guys to see the questions, and it allows me to see the questions so that you don't have to follow up via email or anything along those lines. So what you have to do this week, in a nutshell, read your partner's personal brand essay, ask 10 follow-up interview questions, and know that they're going to ask you 10 follow-up interview questions, and so you need to respond and answer those interview questions. Now remember, the questions you ask will best help you design digital media that you'll have to reflect on later on at the end of this unit, and the answers you give will help your partner design their digital media for you. And so you want to be detailed, and you want to try and give really good answers as best as you are able to. And just one other reminder, please make sure that you read your questions a couple of times before you send them to your partner in this forum. Make sure that your questions are appropriate academically. Make sure that there's, if there's some sensitive information that your partner wrote about in their personal brand essay and you are uncomfortable asking a question, then you might decide not to. Make sure that you don't ask any insensitive questions that could, upset someone in an unfair kind of way. And if you're not sure if you should ask your question, you can always ask me. I won't judge you. Or you can just find another question. But I think that after you read the essay, you'll get a good sense of what questions would be most appropriate, and which ones to avoid, if any. Who knows, but you never know. Okay, y'all, I think that covers everything. Please email me if you have any questions. As far as I can tell, you guys are doing phenomenal, but I'm here for you if you need me. So you guys have a good week.